Welcome to China Connect. We're your laugh-out-loud passport to China's best. Explore and let's discover China now, with a giggle. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of figures and percentages that tell a story of resilience, growth, and high-quality development. Now, brace yourselves as we delve into the economic landscape of mainland China, which has seen an impressive GDP growth of 5.5% in the first half of the year. In the second quarter alone, Fu Linghui, spokesperson for the National Bureau of Statistics, announced that the GDP growth accelerated to 6.3%. This represents an increase of 1.8 percentage points from the first quarter, marking a significant rebound in economic growth. Fu Linghui stated that the 5.5% economic growth in the first half of the year is of high quality, backed by improvements in employment, an increase in residents' income, a gradual strengthening of domestic demand, optimization of the supply structure, and the growth of new momentum. Now, before we go further, let's have a little flashback. Last year, in the second quarter, the GDP growth was a mere 0.4% due to the impact of the pandemic and its preventative measures. But, fast forward to the present and we're seeing the GDP growth in the second quarter of 2023 rise to 6.3%. Although this growth is slightly lower than the market expectation of around 7%, it's still a significant improvement. Economically speaking, we're gradually shaking off the impact of the pandemic and returning to a normalized growth track, says Fu. The 5.5% growth in the first half of the year is significantly higher than the 3% economic growth rate of last year, and even the average growth rate of 4.5% over the last 3 years during the pandemic. Although mainland China's economy currently does not exhibit signs of deflation, Fu assures us that it will not appear in the next stage either. Despite prices currently being at a relatively low level, looking at the related indicators of economic growth and money supply, mainland China's economy does not meet the conditions for deflation. The real estate market, an important economic driver, has shown stability in the first half of the year. This is reflected in the main indicators such as real estate sales, development investment, and funding available to real estate development enterprises, all of which have improved compared to 2022. Interestingly, while the overall employment situation has improved, the youth unemployment rate has been climbing. For the labor force aged 16 to 24, the unemployment rate has risen to 21.3%, 0.5 percentage points higher than in May, marking the third consecutive month of record highs since 2018. Fu attributes this to the graduation season, a time when the youth unemployment rate typically rises due to the influx of fresh graduates into the job market. However, he assures us that the rate will gradually decrease after August. With the gradual normalization of economic and social recovery, consumer spending and the service industry have become the major drivers for growth in the first half of this year. The contribution of consumer spending to economic growth has significantly increased, reaching 77.2% in the first half of the year, which is significantly higher than last year. In the first half of the year, the per capita disposable income of residents increased by a real 5.8%, 2 percentage points faster than the first quarter, and higher than the growth rate of the same period's GDP. This shows that residents' income is steadily increasing, leading to a gradual increase in consumer spending. From a production perspective, the growth of the economy in the first half of this year has transitioned from being mainly driven by industry last year to being jointly driven by the service industry and industry, with the contribution of the service industry significantly increasing, especially in the retail, accommodation and catering, transportation, and other contact services. Recovery has been noticeable. Despite the accelerated GDP growth in the second quarter, it is still slightly lower than market expectations. Li Chao, chief economist at Zheshang Securities, believes that the difficulty in achieving around 5% growth for the whole year is relatively low. From a seasonal and historical perspective, the youth unemployment rate will rise during the graduation season. It may still rise next month, and it will gradually decline after August, Fu said. However, Li Chao predicts that the loose monetary policy will continue in the second half of the year, with the possibility of a reserve ratio cut in the third quarter and a potential interest rate cut in the fourth quarter. The high point of this year's economic momentum has passed. The reasons for this include the base effect formed by the recovery development in the previous months, and it also reflects the problems of insufficient market demand and the need to enhance the endogenous power of economic development, says Li Chao. Looking forward to the second half of the year, the structural adjustment of the economy will face some pressure. As the demand for consumption in travel, tourism, fitness and sports, and other services accelerates, and the productive demand in R&D design, business exhibitions, and other areas increases, the service industry is expected to maintain rapid growth, helping the economy to operate steadily. Li Chao emphasized that the current downward trend in corporate profits is an economic problem that must be resolved. Looking at the whole year, he expects the GDP growth rate for 2023 to be 5.1%, achieving the government's work target of around 5% with relatively low difficulty. Fu Linghui also pointed out that although the external environment is becoming increasingly complex and severe, and the domestic economic development is also under pressure, the basic trend of long-term improvement in the mainland economy has not changed. The characteristics of resilience, potential, and vitality have not changed, and the conditions supporting high-quality development have not changed. In conclusion, the mainland economy has shown considerable resilience, bouncing back from the devastating effects of the pandemic to record impressive growth figures. The GDP growth of 5.5% in the first half of the year, driven by improvements in employment, an increase in residents' income, a gradual strengthening of domestic demand, optimization of the supply structure, and the growth of new momentum, is a testament to the robustness of the mainland's economic growth. Thanks for exploring China with us. Hit like, comment, and share for laughs. Subscribe and drop your thoughts below. Let's keep showcasing this amazing nation. See you in the next funny video.